Now let us get into detail in the monopoly. So in case of monopolies, what we see is there are two pricing strategies which are possible in case of monopoly. Okay, one pricing strategy that we have, it is called as your single price. That means you will sell to everybody at the same price. Okay, does not matter who is buying. Okay, another strategy is to go for price discrimination. It means that okay, you will charge differently for from different customer, right? So charge different price to different group of customers. Okay, note that this price discrimination is not an easy strategy to adopt, and that's why many monopolists, they cannot apply this strategy. Okay, but what are the conditions for this discrimination to work? For the discrimination to work, we first condition is the seller must face a downward sloping demand. That is, the demand curve should be downward sloping. Okay, then he should have at least two, it can be any number, but at least two different group of customers with different price elasticity should be there. That means one set of customer has one set of price elasticity, another has another set. That means one set of customer are more eager to buy, another set of customers, they are not eager to buy until the price is reduced. Okay, right? So it means that this price discrimination means that, let's say suppose you have four set of people, you will sell the same product at 15 to them, you will sell at 14, you will sell at 13, and you will sell at 12. So you have to assess. So here you have to assess that what price these people can pay. You have to assess what price these people can pay, and accordingly you will price it differently. But please note that for this discrimination to work, you have to prevent the customers from reselling. That means the person who has bought at 12 from you, he should not be able to sell this to this customer at 13, to this at 14. Then your discrimination will not work. Or let's say he will sell to him at 12.5. So he will not buy from the monopolist, he will buy from this set of customer, right? Think about how the train ticket work. Okay, in case of train is a monopoly, railways is a monopoly, what you have is you have some concession for senior citizen, you have some concession for students, right? So they know that senior citizens, they are not able to pay a lot, student, they are not able to pay a lot, their elasticity is different, they will travel if they are given at a lower fare, lower price. But a train ticket, a student who is buying at a 50% concession, he will not be able to sell the ticket to somebody else because the ticket is in his name. So you are preventing the customer from selling the product to somebody who can pay more, right? So discrimination, what is the discrimination? You are charging different prices to different set of customer. Okay, for the discrimination to work, you should have a downward sloping demand curve, you should have different set of customer, at least two different set of customer, and you will prevent the customers from selling to other. Okay, right? Now let us try to understand in case of first strategy, that is a single price, and see that what is the profit in the case of monopoly and what is the problem with the monopoly, right? So what we are saying is the monopolists are price searchers. That is, they are trying to search what is the price that the people are willing to pay, right? See, there is no competition in the market, so they do not know what is a perfect price in the market, right? So they are getting some imperfect information regarding the demand. They do not have any idea about the demand. They are trying to see what is the price that they will pay. They face downward sloping demand curve, and also the marginal revenue curve is downward sloping. We have seen that if this is your demand curve, your marginal revenue slope will be slightly higher than the demand curve. Okay, now always remember that does not matter whether it's a perfect competition or a monopoly, the production will be done only when till the marginal cost is equal to the marginal revenue. Beyond marginal revenue, the cost is there, you are not going to produce. See, if this is your marginal cost curve, what will happen is you will produce only that quantity which will be equal to the marginal revenue. See, if the quantity is more than this, if you are producing this quantity, your cost is more than the revenue, there is a loss. Why you would suffer that? So you will say that you will produce only till the point where marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue, right? So this is the cost. So this is the cost, but note that this is the cost for additional unit. We want to know what is the total cost. The total cost is when this quantity is equating the average total cost curve. So average total cost is, this is your average total cost. So your total cost is what? Is your quantity into average total cost. So it means that this is the total cost for the monopoly firm. But the point is, what is the price that they are able to charge the customer? Okay, what price they will charge? Note that the price is always decided from the demand curve. So always from the demand curve you will decide the price. So if you are producing at this quantity, you bring the quantity, and wherever the quantity meets the demand curve, so this is the price that you are going to charge. So this is the price that will be charged. So what is the total revenue? Total revenue is quantity into the price. Right? So your total revenue is equal to this entire. And what is your profit? Profit is your total revenue minus total cost. So which is quantity into P minus ATC. Right? So this is what? So this is the quantity, this is P minus ATC, so this is your profit. Note that this is the profit for the monopoly, or this will be your economic profit, right? So this is your profit for the monopoly, this is the economic profit, right? So a monopoly is able to earn an economic profit, okay? Why? Because their cost is much lower than the price that they are charging, right? So price is determined, P star is the price, profit maximization. So what is the profit maximization quantity when the MR equal to MC? See, if you produce more quantity, let's say suppose you produce this quantity, okay, so what will happen is your average total cost is this, your price is this, so your profit is lower, okay, right? Why? Because your marginal cost is higher than the marginal revenue, you are suffering a loss. So note that at Q star you are getting a economic profit. That is the idea. Now, so this we saw in case of a monopoly as a single price. Here in this diagram we will also try to understand what will be the problem. Okay, see this. Okay, in case of your perfect competition, what happened is you were producing till when the price was equal to the marginal cost. Know that marginal revenue was equal to the price, right? So here the price is this, okay, and this is the marginal revenue. So you are producing at this quantity. So think about it, if I were to make the price equal to the marginal cost, so this is the marginal cost, okay, if you produce this quantity, that is, if this is the price, if this becomes a price, then what will happen? It will be beneficial to the customer. See, this is the total cost, okay, there will be some benefit to the customer. Okay. Now what is happening is, because so the quantity could have been produced in the market as Q1. Okay. So you are the monopoly is producing Q star as the quantity could have produced Q1 in the market, but they are producing lesser quantity. Think about railways. You find that most of the time the railways are completely full. There is in fact lack of tickets. Now it means that they are always full. That means the actual demand in the market is greater than what is the quantity that they are producing. The demand in the market is Q1 quantity, they are producing only this much quantity, right? So it means that the railways are inefficient, okay, because the demand is more, they are producing only lesser quantity in the market. So what we see is, if they would produce this as a quantity, so this additional benefit would have come to the people in the market, right? So this additional benefit is not coming in the market. So what we say is, the monopoly, it brings this loss to whom? This is to the economy. This is called as the economy loss or economic loss. Okay, so please note that there is a loss that is being introduced by the monopoly player. Okay, this loss is shown by this diagram. Okay, it is like a shape or like a triangle. Okay, so this is the economic loss. This is the loss to the entire economy. If they produce this as a quantity, what will happen is that there will be a consumer surplus. See, there is a consumer surplus only this much. Okay, if you produce till this, there will be more consumer surplus. Okay, also there will be producer surplus. There will be more producer surplus. So what happens is, now the producer surplus is also lesser, consumer surplus is also lesser. This surplus is lost in the economy. Okay, so this loss is called as your economic loss. So monopoly is bad for the economy. It produces economic loss. Okay, note that there are some monopolists, they know that that there is a loss to the economy, okay, they may want to experiment and they may want to get it, but they don't think in terms of the economy, they want to increase their own profit. So what we are saying is, okay, if let's say this is your demand curve, this is your marginal revenue curve at a single profit, so this is your what we call economy loss to the economy, this is your deadweight loss. So this is a loss which is to the economy, this is your deadweight loss. If you are selling at a single price, this is your deadweight loss to the economy, right? Now what we are saying is, okay, without price discrimination, this is a deadweight loss to the economy. We want to do something with price discrimination. That is, the monopolist, what he knows is, this is the demand curve, this is the marginal revenue curve, okay. If he produces till when the marginal revenue is equal to the marginal cost, right, and the price is at this, so this is a loss to the economy. Now rather than charging, so this is the marginal revenue curve, right? So what we can say is, rather than charging a fixed price P to everybody, okay, the monopoly is becoming slightly smart. Okay, what the monopoly is doing is, this is the demand curve, okay. When he is producing the first quantity, okay, he knows that this person, okay, can pay this price P1, so he will charge P1 to the first person, okay. Then so think about railways, they have introduced this Tatkal scheme, okay. Why this Tatkal scheme is introduced? They know that there are some set of passenger who are willing to pay additional Tatkal fee and they get the ticket, right? So this is the idea to satisfy the need of those customer who want to travel, they want to pay higher. So these are the people who will pay higher and they will get the ticket, right? Then there are second set of people who are willing to pay only this price, okay. So you will satisfy their condition and you will charge them P2. Then the third set of people, okay, who will buy the third quantity, they want to pay lesser, okay. So what monopolist is doing is, they will identify a few set of people, okay. So and this few set of people, what they will do is, okay, so this is the demand curve, okay, right. So some set of people, they will price P1 as the quantity, right. So these people, what happens is, they will pay P1, okay. As a result, they will realize this consumer surplus, okay. Then there will be another set of people, okay, who will, so they will consume up till Q1 quantity. Another set of people will consume Q1 to Q2 quantity, but they are paying a price of P2. So what is their consumer surplus? Their consumer surplus is this. Then there is another set of people who will consume up till quantity 3, okay, P3, and this is their consumer surplus. So what is happening is, the monopoly is charging P1 to them, okay. Its cost may be much lesser. So let's say suppose this is the marginal cost. This is the marginal cost curve. So what we can say is, the profit to the monopoly will be this area, okay. This is a producer surplus. This is a profit to the monopoly. This is a producer surplus. This is a producer surplus, okay. And then to another set of customer, okay, who are willing to pay P4, okay, they will purchase from Q3 to Q4 quantity. So this blue region is their consumer surplus, but this pink region is the producer surplus, okay, right. Again, it can produce more, okay. So it knows that there is a set of customer, okay, who will purchase Q5 quantity up till Q4 to Q5, they will pay P5 and this is the surplus to them, right. So what is happening is, now the monopoly, he is bringing his surplus more, okay. And then there is a last set of customer, okay, who will pay this price of P6, okay, and then they get this small surplus, okay, and this is the surplus to the economy, right. So what has happened is, these are your blue region are your consumer surplus, this pink region are your producer surplus. So this blue region are your consumer surplus, right. So what has happened is, okay, rather than charging a fixed price of P and producing lower quantity, you are producing more quantity, you are producing up till Q6. You are trying to meet demand of all the people, okay, because your marginal revenue is equal to your now the price at which you are selling, right. So in such case, what is happening is, the monopoly is able to increase his profit, okay. The consumer surplus is decreased, deadweight loss in the economy is reduced, right. So the deadweight loss is reduced there, right? There is no deadweight loss in the economy, right. So this is happening because of the discrimination in the price. You are able to identify 6 set of people who will be buying at different price level. You are charging them different prices. You are able to increase the quantity. See, if I contrast this with the normal case, this was the demand curve, this was the marginal revenue curve, this was the marginal cost, right? You will produce up till only this quantity. But in case of price discrimination, your quantity is higher, right? So you are able to produce more quantity. This deadweight loss which was there in the economy, this is not there, right? This is the benefit of the price discrimination. Price discrimination is beneficial to the in economy. That is the idea. So they're saying that with price discrimination, the deadweight loss is becoming very low. In fact, if you can price it over here, this will also reduce. So price discrimination, it increases the efficiency, it increases monopolist profit, it decreases the deadweight loss, it increases the quantity produced. The firm is able to produce a quantity which it would not have produced. So it is producing more quantity, right? Now, what is a perfect price discrimination? Note that in reality, this is very difficult to achieve. It means that, okay, rather than grouping the customer, right, you are saying that I will charge each customer the maximum they are willing to pay, right? So how do you will charge, right? So think about it. This is customer, he is willing to pay this price. This customer is willing to pay this price. So what will happen is each customer will pay as per his price. So as a result, the consumer surplus will be zero. Okay, entire profit is captured by the entire surplus. The total surplus will be equal to the producer surplus. The monopoly will charge the entire producer surplus. So there will be no deadweight loss. Quantity produced is the same as the perfect competition. There is no consumer surplus. Entire surplus is captured by the monopolist. But note that this perfect price discrimination, it is very difficult to achieve, because these monopolists, they are price searchers. They are trying to see what is the price that the consumer is willing to pay. It is very difficult to identify that.